Let's go ahead and move on. So I think for the next 15 minutes or so, it is my turn to talk a little bit about the Avid solutions for Dolby Atmos, specifically as it pertains to music. So coming up after me, Daniel Lovell of Will Files, they're going to be talking a lot about Dolby Atmos and its use in film, television, OTT, in that space. Obviously, at the top of this whole thing, we talked to Matt, we just spoke to Christine, and we've been really talking about music. I'm a musician myself. I'm a music producer. I'm based here in Miami, Florida, and I'm an electronic dance music producer. So actually, my next album will be delivered in Atmos, so I'm really excited about that. But so while Daniel is actually going to talk through some of the actual Avid portfolio in a greater depth, I figure what might be kind of interesting is to kind of talk through really what it means, as far as Avid, what we're doing in that space. So it's all the same portfolio, right? So I'll quickly go over some of that, excuse me. And then Christine mentioned the work that we've partnered together and that we've done with AvidPlay, and I'll talk specifically about that because to me that's kind of the missing piece, or not missing piece, but the last piece of the puzzle as it pertains to a musician being able to not only create in the immersive space with Dolby Atmos and Pro Tools, but then delivering that mix, those immersive mixes, and getting them out to their fans. And we're really proud of the work that we've done there. So if we can go to the next slide, I'll kind of give a quick walkthrough. Again, this part of it will be very, very high level, very simple, mostly because Daniel's going to do such an amazing job kind of covering this. And again, it's exactly the same portfolio. So really, as it pertains to what is the setup for working in Pro Tools and working with Dolby Atmos, it's quite simple. They're really kind of three parts to that, right? So that you've got your Pro Tools systems, then you've got your monitoring, your I/O. So that's how your inputs, your outputs, being able to get record audio, whether if you're tracking stuff, drums, keyboards, whatever it might be, and then how you're getting that stuff out, and then of course how you're listening to that. So we've got some great stuff happening on that side as well. And I mentioned Pro Tools is the heart of this entire thing, right? The other part of the Avid portfolio really kind of centers around control surfaces. So one of the great things that we love doing here at Avid is creating a space in your studio, whether that's at home, whether you're in a facility working in a recording studio, but the idea of being able to have some tactile control over everything that's happening. So not just the faders on the mix to be able to turn stuff up and down, but also to be able to control and pan and really have a hands-on feel for the automation. Of course, all of that then goes, you've got to be able to render that out into a format that is then deliverable to be able to hear everything, right? So it's really that simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it. So if we can just go to the next slide, we can kind of quickly just I'll give a kind of an example, a couple of examples. So again, everything centers in Pro Tools Ultimate, right? That's where everything kind of starts. That's where the creation starts. All the work is being done in Pro Tools Ultimate, and all of the key Dolby Atmos functions are directly embedded within the software. Okay. We've got many different ways to kind of access, and leverage the power of being able to, have these larger sessions, being able to handle all of those beds and objects. So for us, along with Pro Tools Ultimate, Pro Tools HDX, our DSP acceleration technology, is a very big part of that. Now, we also have HD native, so being able to leverage some DSP that'll handle the mix bus. Actually, Matt actually is leveraging HD native technology. So he's not using HDX, he's using HD native, and then leveraging the Dolby audio bridge as well, right? So HDX, this is our flagship DSP acceleration technology. It's the thing that Avid is probably best known for. It powers so many huge mixes and really gives the user the ability to have all of this power at their fingertips. And this can also be the heart of some very big, large, immersive Dolby Atmos mixes. I'm sure Will show off and in a great way and show you exactly what that means. We love kind of seeing that. Now, as far as the input, your I/O and monitoring, of course, our Matrix and our Matrix Studio, our flagship audio interfaces. We've partnered with NTP DAD and have created these boxes that are just powerhouse. They sound amazing. They're extremely flexible. Specifically like with the Matrix, we're able to actually add all different kinds of cards. And if you wanted to tune your room, you can add an SPQ card. You've got different options for MADI, for different kinds of I/O. It's extremely flexible, all being able to be routed using DADMan software. And then of course you having your monitor control as well. And then again, going back to the control surfaces, being able to have tactile feel of your mixes. So our Avid S4 and S6 control surfaces are kind of the go-to. But actually here in my room, I'm using the Avid S1s. So you can actually do a really decent amount of immersive type mixing on even those. Of course, if you're going to be doing bigger, more professional mixes, you're probably going to want to end up sitting behind an S4 or an S6. And then of course you've got your options as far as rendering. You've got a couple different ways to render. You've got the Dolby production suite. And then of course you've got the actual renderer as well. So next slide, if we can. So to me, this is the final component, the final piece of the puzzle as it pertains to musicians when they're when we're talking about creating, and that's AvidPlay. So Christine talked a little bit about it. I think Matt might have mentioned it as well. So Matt is one of the early adopters also of being able to deliver music in Dolby Atmos using AvidPlay. So AvidPlay is basically, it's a component of Avid Link. So if you're familiar with Avid Link, it's kind of it's an application that we've created. It really started off as a more of a community application, which really allows all users, Avid users, to be able to have a place, a kind of a centralized location via software, something that kind of sits in the background on their computer, whether it's Mac or PC, and allows folks to be able to search for each other. And if you're looking for talent to collaborate with, you can do that. And it kind of grew from there. So now it's become kind of a software hub for your Pro Tools installs, your Sibelius installs, your plugin updates. All of that stuff gets updated there. We're continuing to drive growth there and do more on that side of things. But we also added AvidPlay last year. So AvidPlay is a component of AvidLink that allows users to be able to get their music out to pretty much any streaming service globally, wherever in the world they are. So it could be Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, you name it. They're all there. And Avid doesn't take any of the money. All the money stays with the creator. So everything's managed there. Everything is tracked there. You're able, you keep 100% of your rights, and it's really great. So moving forward from that, just a few months ago, we introduced the ability for users to be able to export their immersive, their Dolby Atmos music mixes, their ADM files, and actually publish them to streaming services that support Dolby Atmos. So right now it's Tidal and Amazon Prime Music, but more are definitely going to be on the way. And this is just a great way for musicians, creators who are working on their own music and want to be able to get that stuff out there to do so and keep all the rights. You figure out how you want to split revenue if you're collaborating with different folks. You have full management of all of that. So, and you're able to distribute your ADM files, get them out in pretty much immediately. You set your schedule, you set, when the release dates are. And again, this is all trackable. So you're able to distribute everything in the highest quality, 192 kilohertz at 24-bit in Dolby Atmos. So your ADM files directly coming from the renderer out of Pro Tools Ultimate with your Dolby renderer. You've got your file, you get it, you basically upload it. You literally will upload it using AvidPlay, fill everything out and get it pushed out. It's really amazing. And again, I think it's important to understand that Avid or Dolby, we're not taking any of that. You keep all of that. That this is your creation. I'm kind of staying focused on this because I think it's a very important piece of the puzzle, because we know that, someone was asking earlier, what are the plans, about getting the tools into the creator's hands. This is a part of that. Being able to be, being able to get your stuff out there in an efficient way that you're managing, I think is great. And Christine mentioned that even the major labels are happy with this. Of course, they're happy with it because that's driving growth for them, and that's driving, just great listenership across the board. So if we can go to the next slide. So yeah, so as I mentioned, you're able to distribute these files right now, currently, to Tidal, Hi-Fi, and Amazon Music HD. Of course, future services will be made available at some point. So some of the pricing is listed here, and I apologize, this is listed in US dollars, but if you head to the Avid site and go to the AvidPlay section, the pricing should be listed in your currency. So, just to give you an idea, the unlimited plan, which gives you basically, you can upload as many ADM files as you'd like annually. That's $49.99 US a year. So that gives the user the ability to distribute unlimited albums and singles in both Atmos and stereo. So you're not limited to just Atmos. If you wanted to deliver stuff in stereo, you actually have the ability to do that. And it supports pretty much any way that you want to package your music, whether it's a single, an EP, an album, you can do that. I should also mention, I think it was in the previous slide, and I should have mentioned it. We're actually giving you tools to be able to help market your stuff via social media and different platforms. And I think that's obviously another big, really big piece of the puzzle. And again, you have full control of that. So if we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so here's just a quick look at the plans. If you just wanted to do a single, that's $4.99 a year. Lifetime would be $9.99. You'd be able to do that outright. So that's just a quick look. I think the value is great. And again, you're able to track all of this stuff directly within the Avid Link app in the AvidPlay section, and it just makes it really easy. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you take advantage of that. I mean, I know even though I'm signed to a label, I still have the ability to be able to publish music independently, and I am absolutely going to be leveraging this myself.